it's kind of up to us to put a time. Usually, games runs afternoons after 12, so 12, 4, and 6 p.m. That's the most common times on Sundays. We have 3 refs each games. Everybody is registered with the New Hampshire Summer League. Everybody is insured through them too. So I'm looking for a field to use for our home games. Not a lot of days left in the schedule. I rented a couple fields, one in Milford and the other one in Hooksett for a couple games. So a few dates left, especially on the midweek side on Wednesdays in June and July. And I think the league will run till late July. I think the last week of July, as far as I know now. And I can send you the dates I'm looking for. The dates I'm trying to book the fields for. Mostly Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m.
Mr. Boshi, do we have any scheduled soccer going on during those days?
So as I said, soccer ends next week. And I mean, with playoffs are next weekend, but all playoff games are at a neutral location. So like the weekend on the 19th. So it frees up from any youth usage. I mean, I'd say on the night starting the 19th and then going forward. I mean, and there won't be anything regularly scheduled there until, in terms of games, there won't be anything regularly scheduled there until September. There'll be practices that start up in August at some point, but there's nothing else scheduled for soccer now, starting, for that weekend on the 19th.
Thank you. Those dates work for you, Mr. Hyder? June 19th on?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say third week of June until August 1st, that'll be perfect. And like I said, it's not going to be like every Wednesday and Sunday. I will send the dates I'm looking for in an email, but they're going to be within that range.
Okay.
So a couple things. One, we'll need to cover a certificate of insurance for the team, not for the players, but for the team. Made out to, town of Litchfield, like every organization gives us. And then the other thing is lining. Soccer is going to stop lining the fields. They'll line it this week, and then that'll be the end. So, because there are no activities, soccer isn't planning on lining the fields. So, at that point, you need to line the fields. And I mean, I talked to the soccer board, and there are 2 options. There's option 1 is, the field's lined now, so if you start lining next week, it'll keep the lines. So the question becomes do you want to line yourselves, or you can, go through soccer and have someone from soccer line them for you. Soccer usually pays a kid to do them every week. The cost is, however, it's $20 for the paint just to line it, and that's only a half a case. That a full case of paint is $45. So
Yeah,
we're estimating like 6 to 8 cans normally, but $20 is about a half a case, is a little less than a half case, and then to line that field, the cost is $20 to do it per week on top of it. So you have the option of either doing it yourself. I mean, we can give you the information for soccer. You can ask them. They'll give you the code to the shed, and you can go in there and line the field yourself, or you can pay soccer to have someone line it for you. But in one case or the other, I mean, the paint costs money. So
Yeah. I understand. Buy those.
it's either $20 a week or $40 a week, depending on,
Yeah.
if you do it yourself or not.
Yeah, I would rather pay someone to do it. I usually have those in my trunk. We used to use the Budweiser for home field, and we used to line the field all the time.
Yep.
It's a pain, especially with my vision. I'd always go zigzag, and players make fun of me. So if someone younger with a good eye can do it, I would rather pay that and just get it done. Definitely.
Okay. And I mean, we have your email address, so I can email you the contact information for you to email someone on the soccer board and, set everything up.
Perfect. Yeah, as far as the insurance, now this is like a new way of doing it this season. The New Hampshire Summer League said we send them roster and names, and it will be like a certain fee per each player to insure them for the whole season.
Right.
Uh, you said that's not going to be efficient, so where should I get that certificate of insurance?
So if you talk to the league, usually, and this is how it happens with the youth as well, like everything you pay into the league will, each player is insured, but the league is basically carrying the coverage of each team. So you should be able to request from the league a copy of your coverage of insurance for your team, and they should be able to provide it to you with the town of Litchfield as the policy. I'm not sure it's the policy holder. There's some term to it.
Yeah, I'm sure
and
they know about the process. I will check with them.
yeah, and we can. In that same email, I can send you the who it should be made, town of Litchfield, the address and everything, so it's the proper wording in the
Sure.
in that section.
Perfect.
One last question, Mr. Harder. Are you a Litchfield resident?
Yes, I live on 89 Pinecrest Road, Litchfield.
How organized is this league? Are there referees that are down there for the games? What are practices like?
I mean, I've been in the league since 2008, and it's very regulated. Everything has to go through the leagues, the refs, the fees, and yeah, they're pretty organized. I mean, when we schedule games, we post out, we enter them in the website, in the New Hampshire Summer League website, and they assign us the referees, and they always supervise everything. If there is like, for example, an incident through a game or like a red card, they take it seriously, and seen them taking a lot of um, strict decisions against some players who we played with in the past, and they caused trouble during the games, and they're very serious about it. So yeah, I can say it's pretty regulated.
Have any questions? Concerns? Mike, Mr. Collins, any input?
No. No, I already had my piece, I think.
All right, so I will accept a motion to allow Mr. Alwyn Hyder in the New Hampshire Summer League soccer program for adults over 30 to utilize Sawmill from after June 19th through July 30th or 31st, whatever the date is, through July. And Mike, you'll provide him the information on how to send us his insurance information, as well as the contact for obtaining somebody to paint the fields.
Correct. Yep.
I have a copy of the form too. I received today. Let's see which
Is it the field request form?
field request form. Yes, I'll fill that out.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could do that.
Yep.
All right, so motion to accept use of the fields for New Hampshire Summer League soccer program, men, team over 30.
Do we have an official application yet, or does he need to fill that out first?
Yes, you have not filled out the application just yet, right?
No, I actually just started today. I'll finish that soon and submit it.
Motion pending the acceptance, because next time we'll meet, or
And the acceptance of the insurance.
in the exception of the insurance, yeah. As long as you can get that stuff to us before your first session, that'll be great. All right, so
I can get
I will
that to
move
you by Monday. I will contact the league and get that insurance certificate and submit it to you.
perfect.
So I will second that motion because you made that motion,
I
right?
made the motion. So motion made by myself, Steve Gannon, seconded by Andy Ruggles. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Ruggles,
Aye.
Mr. Burns,
Aye.
Mr. Boshi,
Aye.
Mr. Peter Ames,
Aye.
Mr. Collins.
Aye.
So, and I, Mr. Weber, sorry.
I'm an aye also.
All right, motion carries 7-0-0. Thank you, Mr. Hyder, and if you can get that to us as
Will do.
soon as possible, that'd be great. Email or whatever will work. You have our contact information there.
Yep. Email will work.
You have our email, right? You sent
Yes.
the information, right? Right.
I have Andy's email, and through the website there is I think a contact email for you.
Yeah,
can look it up.
RC at New Hampshire.
Yes.
Shield NH. Yeah. Yep, that'll work. Or send it to Andy.
I'll use that. Yes,
All right.
will do. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks.
Other field requests.
So before I go, do you guys have any questions for me?
No, you're
No,
all set.
no, I think we're all
right.
set with you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good night.
That was it, right, for field requests?
Yep.
All right, new business. Game cams at Dara.
Yeah, so as you all know, there was an incident with some, I don't really know what it was. I've heard reports of some kids vandalizing them, but it can't be confirmed. They were not caught on video. We did recover the cameras. They were not caught on photo cameras. Originally, the cameras were set up a specific way so that they weren't recording pictures of kids while they were playing during the day, before a specific time. So if that happened before then, we wouldn't have got it anyway. So there was some damage to one of the cameras. It's probably not suitable to be remounted or reinstalled somewhere. The other camera is still functional and probably could be reused somewhere. But again, I don't really know if I feel that it's really a practical or even. Yeah,
It hasn't really solved any problems.
No. So I mean, I've spoken with the police department. Depending on how you guys feel about it, I don't think there's really anything we can do as far as having them investigate anything. I mean, I've received some names of people that have been talking at the high school, but It's really just names, so it's not, we really can't do anything about it. There's no concrete evidence. So there's not much on that end. That's where we stand right now. As far as other solutions,
Say, have you hide in the bushes out there.
I've run pretty fast.
oh boy.
So for the record, for the public's record, there were 2 game cameras set up at Dara Pond, put in place by us. The intention was to record any vandalism that was occurring at the playground equipment, at the building. We had some graffiti, we had some small damage done, toilets being knocked over, trash cans being thrown into the pond. We placed them strategically, as Chris said, where they would place them and set them strategically so they would not record children playing at the playground during the day. They were also not recording audio. It's just basically still photos set after hours that would try to capture someone, something, sometime, give us an idea of what was happening and where, so that we could try to take action. Somebody noticed them. I'm sure they were a little concerned. Some other people pulled the cameras down and destroyed one of them, or damaged one of them, erased the cards, and then returned them to the police department.
I don't think the cards had been erased.
They weren't erased, they just didn't.
No, I think that's the case. It seems like it was way too much effort to take the cards out, erase them, then put them back in,
Okay.
and
so
then leave the cameras there. Yeah, I think it all just happened during the times that they were set up
that they were not
to be. Yeah,
recording.
yeah.
So if anybody was alarmed, that was our cameras on our property with good intention. We'll take some other actions because we're still having kind of vandalism and inconveniences occurring at various fields. So you have possession of the cameras now?
I do. Yeah.
Any other topics, discussions on that topic? Another one is I was approached by 3 young men at the high school looking to complete some time for their sophomore projects. A couple of things I thought they could do is we have 2 benches that need to be built for the tennis court. The last benches were rotting and cannot be repaired, just replaced. We could use a little cleanup down at the John Bryant River access, basic cleanup, removing brush, sticks, etc., getting them out of the way where when our landscaper comes in, he could cut the grass without having to and sticks damaging his equipment. And the Family Fun Day, Mr. Weber said they could use all the help they can. So I'm going to try to, I mentioned to these 3 young men, these 3 initiatives, they seem to be on board. I'll speak to them again. Can I give them your information, or you have another contact that we could work with as well, right?
I'll give him my information.
All right.
And I'll shoot you over the link they can sign up on too.
Okay, that'd be great. That'll give them a lot of hours there. They have to get, I think, 30 hours before end of September. So there's definitely some other things we can come
Give
up
them
with.
7 or 8 that day, so,
Yes. It would be a full day.
yep.
All right, so that's, anything else for new business? Okay, we'll move on to old business. Let's start off with the senior field day was today. Did not hear anything about it. I didn't go down either. I thought I was gonna plan on doing it at one point. Anybody hear anything about the senior field day?
My daughter was there. She said it went well.
It went well?
Yeah, they got out about, they let them out a little early, do the heat about 1 o'clock. Like 9 to 1.
She enjoyed herself?
Yep, she said she enjoyed herself.
Awesome, that's good to hear. We have a Talent Hall reopening. Last time we met, we spoke with Peter, and he was gonna try to draft up a formal policy to begin with. You have any?
Yeah, so I had a couple thoughts, came with it as well. I think it really comes down to just a handful of things. I think we move forward.
Yep.
So this is based off of, best practices guidelines the state has issued, seen from other businesses and similar facilities. So number one, I think we talked about limiting capacity
Yep.
to 50. Suppose that we have it cleaned by the town twice a week. I would want to talk about that though, because summer, it does not get that much use, so I don't know if that's too frequent, but that at least we can space it out, days, so we know there's at least consistently. Also make cleaning supplies available, so I think we can purchase just some basic things to keep hand there and ask anybody that does use it, use the cleaning supplies for high touch, high frequency areas on exit bathroom. I think we should have masks required for groups with mixed vaccination status. So that's in line with the current policy for indoor use. And I think with the likelihood of kids still being a big part of the constituencies that will be using this, particularly be too young to receive a vaccine yet, we should keep that policy in place. I think we should revisit all of it in September and time to maybe change some of these things to be some of the restrictions. Also, requiring COVID for formal groups that are coming in, ask for their COVID protocols, share with us before they go in. I don't think we need to do that necessarily for like small informal groups that are going in, but Boy Scouts did a good job. Groups that have policies in place, we should ask for that and keep. Raise the question about disclaimer before. I don't know about that. I guess I want to get some conversation on that. If we need to, or if we think we're adequately covered already. I think we're requiring that in other facilities in town, but mistaken there. So those are items I put out there. Want to put out there for discussion and see if those things are feasible, make sense, or if there's other things folks think we should put in place. But I think we all want to get it open. So thoughts on that.
As far as cleaning, is it possible to do just like an on-call clean? So a group comes in and uses it that day, somebody in to clean it that night or this morning?
So Steve, I know we talked last time, you said that there was good availability for.
Yeah, the personal way of doing cleaning is very flexible.
Yeah.
So that's something we
Yeah.
could do.
I mean, rather
Just
than.
have to give, Town Administrator Brown a heads up and it's the cleaning now.
Okay.
That, hey, we need it tomorrow because somebody used it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a more practical way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking we should align as much of our policies with the other town buildings, like masks, etc., for whatever we're doing with the library, town hall. I think it would be confusing if we had a different mask policy in town hall than they do at the library. To sort of make it consistent so it's less confusing for people using town buildings. So I don't know, what we can combine with what the town is doing in the other buildings, but I think the more we can do, the better.
It's the policy. Masks are not required.
What about in the library?
I'm not sure. The town does not control the library. The library trustees do.
The library is requiring masks, but it's a different environment. It's tight, right? So town hall is huge. So I think if you have a group of vaccinated people in there, then no masks is fine. It's
Also, I think your point on where majority of the people using it would be underage, where they're not acceptable to get vaccinated. I don't see a bunch of little kids coming into town hall on a regular basis, maybe on the library. So we may need to aim it a little bit more around what the school's doing, or maybe in the gyms. I would think they would probably require masks too, right?
Schools are still wearing masks in the schools, the kids are.
Lifted what, the recess?
I think so, yeah. When they're outside.
Recess.
Recess, you don't have to wear it.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a case you could say, no masks if you can maintain social distance, but the activities that are gonna be going on in town, I mean, people could assume close to each other, right, for the activities. So that's a reflection of the state's recommendation, right?
The best practice guide.
Yeah, best practice. So it's a requirement, but I think, again, even the kids being a big part of who'll be using town, in all likelihood, that's what makes the most sense for the next couple of months anyway.
Utilization from now to September is going to be. Scouts will use it. Basketball, if it's raining. If it's raining.
But he already has his policy in place and
Yep.
procedures, and I think Jason would do a great job on that. But I'm not aware of anybody else that has requested besides those two orgs. I like it. Nice job. You can send it out to us. Do you need to tune it up a little bit
Yeah,
more?
I was gonna save a couple discussion points now, but I'll clean up the language, send it out, and then there. The other thing about disclaimers, what are?
Do you want me to run that past legal counsel, just see what their thought is?
Yeah.
It's a quick
Can't hurt.
email, we can just send them.
It's a yes or no.
I'll run it past legal.
Because what did Jason have? He had something for his summer basketball.
Yeah, last year we put a COVID waiver together that all the participants had to sign, and that was run by legal at the time. So that would be something that would be good to utilize with other groups as well.
Are we asking legal, do we need it, or if they advise it?
I'm gonna ask, do they advise us to do
Do they
it?
advise it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is we may have to revisit this before, for the some months where it's not going to be overly active or not as busy, we can put this in place, but we should probably revisit this as we're getting into September where usage is going to start picking up. Guidelines might change, might be different. School guidelines will almost definitely be different than they were this year. Just for comparison's sake. I mean, we don't want to be overly, like, we don't want to be at a point where we're still looking at policies and the way people were doing things in March, April, May, June, when we get to September, where September may be more, there may be more freedom with everything too. So just a thought.
Yeah, I think we had talked about, this being a phased approach, and the summer is the perfect time to ease into it. But yeah, I'm definitely hoping things are different in September. So we can move a lot of these forward.
Need to get it open for comedy night.
That's right.
Yeah, the discussion around that. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. That's awesome. If you could make your adjustments, send it out to the rest of us. We'll take a look at it. And thank you, Mr. Weber, for running it by legal about having input on the waiver.
Yep, I'll send a note tomorrow.
Parker Park and Community Gardens.
Yeah, I spoke to Jason Brennan tonight, got an update on what's going on down there. So things are moving forward. Spoke with Normanton, and currently the town owns, it might only be 2 acres down there, and the rest is in a land trust that is pretty old. So Normanton is redoing the trust, and he's gonna end up leasing the land to the town so that they can be under our insurance. Jason's still working out the map, but looks like there's going to be a couple of bridges that he's approved. He's approving all the trails that he wants to build. So things are moving forward with that. And same goes for the garden. Looks like Dane's making some good headway there. So hope to know a little bit more soon. Trying to get down there with Jason and walk it, but positive.
Yep, looks good. I did a walk down there with Jay originally, and yeah, I saw Diane's input where they had 6 blueberry bushes. Still, Ryan Lane went down the other day, and I think he brush hogged it, and I think he's going to go back and cultivate it. Just getting, definitely has a good group going on, and
Then we got a local guy who's building the raised beds for us.
yeah,
Yeah,
Thomas.
Thomas from Smoking Ladder.
Yeah, it's awesome, good stuff. Mr. Jeff Town is watching. We could probably use some of your Boy Scouts to help at Parker Park. All right. Any other old business? Don't see Mr. Ryan Lane, so I guess he will not be joining us. Any other business? Don't have any public here with us tonight, nobody online. So I think we are done. All right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Before that next meeting, what are we doing with the meetings over the next couple months?
Thank you. I wanted to mention, yeah, what is typically in the summer, we drop down to once a month. What's the will?
Is it the second or the second meeting we keep and we drop the first one? Or is it the beginning? Yeah,
I think we can choose if there's a preference.
there's no preference for me. But
I mean, there are two discussions. A, when do we want to start? Do we still want to do another one this month and only go one a month in July and August? Or are we gonna have, or, are we gonna start and not have another one until August? Until July and then come back with two in August, or are we still gonna do one in August? I guess that's the question.
I would just say, I think we need to do 2 in August, just because we seem to get behind on the budget, and that's it. Having 2 meetings that month, because Steve, usually mid-September, we need to have budget information in.
That's correct.
So what's your recommendation, Mike? Drop one for June, one for July, then come back doing 2 in August?
Yeah, I mean, in that case, I mean, since we've already had the one in June, we dropped the second one in June, we should go the second Tuesday in July, not the 4th. And then we're coming back with 2 in August. So, I mean, we aren't going more than a month without a meeting, is basically what it is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Need a motion, or we just decide to do that?
Just decide, I mean.
Decide, all right,
All you have to do is post it when you're gonna have a meeting, so.
right.
So actually, if we're talking about the second week in July, that would be the second full week, right? So the 13th,
13th, right?
the week of the
It's the
4th.
second Tuesday.
So our next meeting would not be till July 13th? Zoom in August. Any other discussions? Accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll do adjourn.
Second?
Let's do a roll call vote. Mr. Ruggles,
Aye.
Mr. Raines,
Aye.
Mr. Boshi,
Aye.
Mr. Burns,
Aye.
Mr. Collins,
Aye.
Mr. Weber.
Aye.
I am also an aye. Motion carries 7-0-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Yes.